Yes, people, welcome back to 1894 for a very important video. The topic of today's conversation is Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's get right into it. Okay, Joe, so this week we have been let down by our board and by Harry Kane. Well, probably more by Daniel Levy and Harry Kane to sign a striker, but it has emerged pretty well since that deal collapsed that City are showing interest in Cristiano Ronaldo after Cristiano Ronaldo has shown interest in City. His agent, Jorge Mendes, has been trying to engineer a deal for City to basically come and rescue Ronaldo from Juve. Juve don't want Ronaldo anymore. They want him off their wage books. I think he's earning somewhere around 700k a week at Juventus. I could be wrong on that, don't quote me, but it's in that region. And they've clearly decided with 1 year left on his contract, they don't really want him anymore. They don't want those kind of wages on their hands, and they're happy to see him go. Now, City need a goal machine. Ronaldo is that exactly. He's a goal machine. I think I saw a stat, once again, don't quote me, that he scored more goals than Lukaku in Serie A last year. And Chelsea paid what for Lukaku in comparison to what we're going to pay for Ronaldo. Now, the deal seems to be actually not that complicated in comparison to most of the deals we talked about this summer. I think Juve are looking for 28 million euros, which comes down to around 24 million British pounds, which for Cristiano Ronaldo is quite a fair fee, I think, considering Juve paid 100 million for him. And then in the last sort of 12 hours, we got news that City offered Ronaldo a contract worth something like 15 million euros a year, which in the last hour, I think we're getting some reports saying it's been accepted. They've come to an agreement and Ronaldo has spoken to Pep. This seems to be the money, wage money that City were willing to use on Kane, and they're now saying we've been forced into a corner to find an alternative to Kane, and Ronaldo is the best option. I am absolutely ecstatic about this one now. I know Ronaldo is obviously quite a Man United legend, and the United fans do love him dearly, and that probably adds to my excitement on this, making the United fans pretty angry. But he's also, let's not forget, one of the greatest footballers of all time. Whether he's better than Messi is up to the individual to decide, but he still is an absolutely cracking player. Joe, what do you think about this initially? It's still in the middle of happening, but at the moment it's looking like it could happen.
Crazy. It's crazy. We've been linked to Messi and Ronaldo in one summer. What's going on? It's absolutely mental. All the top players want to come here. It's mental for a supposed small club with no fans and a lot of oil money, but it's just so unrealistic. But it seems so realistic because again, it's like 24 million. It's absolute peanuts compared to what we're going to pay for Harry Kane. But I don't think City are going to sign a caliber of player like this ever. I just don't see it. I just don't know why. I just don't see it.
Joe, who was the players you said City have paid more for? Past them what we're about to play.
Oh yeah, we paid more for Mario Balotelli, Wilfred Boney, Mangala, Otamendi, Nathan Ake, Benjamin Mendy. The list goes on and on and on and on of players that we have paid more for than Ronaldo. That we would be paying for Ronaldo. It's insane to think that we're willing to spend so much money on players in the same positions, year in, year out after they don't work out. And then when it comes to Ronaldo, a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, we're not willing to pay a little, measly £24 million for one of the best players of all time.
I saw some reports suggesting that City are quite fluid with this negotiation with Juve. After dealing with such a stern negotiator in Daniel Levy all summer, they feel like, yeah, we can kind of be a bit more relaxed about this and, start throwing offers out there. I think Sam Lee said this, that said he can kind of throw offers out there and stances out there to Juve and they'll get a reply pretty swiftly. Whereas when they were throwing out offers and trying to negotiate with Tottenham and Levy, they were struggling to get their phone calls answered, their text messages answered. So I think there's... Look, I'm trying to hold back from getting excited about this because, we've been let down by Kane, we've been let down by Messi more than once. And just like Joe said, the caliber of player that Ronaldo is, it's mind-boggling. It's so hard to wrap my head around. I'm finding it so hard to wrap my head around the possibility of Cristiano Ronaldo, even at 36 years old, coming to Manchester City Football Club. Like I said, he's a United legend. He's in the top 2 best players of all time. That's my personal opinion. You guys can say what you think in the comments. It's in my opinion, top 2 best players of all time. To play for City, it's mental stuff. I'm just flicking through City Extra's Twitter here. They've been absolutely fantastic with giving us the quickest news. There's an agreement between Man City and Cristiano Ronaldo. All that remains is Juventus to accept the inclusion of a Man City player in a deal. That was an hour ago. There's different reports coming out all the time. I saw one recently saying that City are possibly willing to offer Jesus, but Allegri wants Jesus or Bernardo, but City want to send Sterling. There's so many journalists behind this this transfer deal, all giving different type reports, but the bookies have it at 4-11. So you can make your mind up, but that sounds like it's pretty well dead certain. But let's talk about Ronaldo actually playing for City and why he would choose City, Joe. I think whilst he is a club legend at Man United, he's also a club legend at Real Madrid, and he's also a club legend at Juventus. Do you think he really cares about possibly losing the love of the Man United fans? I don't. The guy has so much money, so many trophies. Like, he's Mr. Champions League, essentially. He's won so many Champions Leagues, and he's probably looking at Pep Guardiola, Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish, and just the sheer squad depth we have, and saying, listen, I've got maybe 2 years left where I can compete at the highest level, and that's the best place to do it. So I'm sorry, United fans, you're going to have to take the L on that one. This guy is a born winner. He's not coming to City, or potentially coming to City, to win trophies for City. He's coming because he wants to build up his own legacy, continue building his legacy, and go down with the most silverware he can before ultimately he'll probably go to the MLS and play for a club out there and live a nice life in somewhere like Los Angeles. But he clearly fancies 1 or 2 more cracks to whip with winning the Champions League, possibly a Premier League, and of course we know that he absolutely lives and breathes that Ballon d'Or. That's his favourite thing in the world to win. He's whilst he's Mr. Champions League, he's also Mr. Individual Honours. Joe, what do you make of that?
I don't really think he cares about the United links, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. There's a clip of him a couple of years ago showing off his abs in Turin when he scored against United in the Champions League group stage. You know, I don't really think he cares too much. Like, obviously, he will respect the club because they did give him his first, big chance. He did win his first Ballon d'Or, Champions League, Premier League, all this. And obviously, he is, still quite close to Ferguson. But again, I just don't think he really cares that much about loyalty at the moment. It's his career that I think he cares about, because he knows he doesn't have the most time in the world left, because he is like 36, so he knows he only has a couple, maybe 3 years at the top level left. Even then, I don't think he's quite as good as he was, but that's just natural as a footballer. You do start to decline when you get that old, so I don't really think that would be an obstacle of him, getting in the way of coming to City. I don't really think it matters all that much.
I think he's just ruthless, isn't he? He's just ruthless about, like I said, building up his own legacy and building up his own personal trophy cabinet. Like, he was instrumental in all 3 of Real Madrid's Champions Leagues in a row, and obviously the one he won with Man United. He's won so many of them, and so many individual honours as well. I'm still just flicking through the tweets here. It says here, according to Calcio Mercato Italia via Sport Witness, Cristiano Ronaldo has given the okay to a 2-year contract with Man City, where he will receive 15 million euros a year post-tax. Now Juventus okay is missing, and the process of convincing them to let him go on a free will start. Now this is where it kind of annoys me, Joe. It's kind of annoying me, these kind of reports that City were willing to offer 150, or it was reportedly 150 for Harry Kane in the last week, and now we need convincing to offer 25 million for Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, yes, you won't get the same length of time, the longevity out of Ronaldo that you would have out of Harry Kane, but for the sake of 2 years of an absolute goal machine, you would have thought 25 million is an absolute no-brainer to pay for him. Yes, he's nowhere near the same physical beast he was in terms of like pace and dribbling when he was 25, but the guy can still put the ball in the bag. Do you know what I mean? He can still score goals. So it seems to be from other reports that he's had a conversation with Pep. He seems happy with the role that Pep wants to play him in, which I would imagine is simply just an out-and-out striker, which is where he spent a fair bit of time playing for Juventus. So I'd really expect City to come through here and secure this. Well, sorry, actually, let me rephrase that. I don't expect it. I never expect anything now as a City fan. I just hope. Joe, what are your thoughts on that whole kind of like convincing for 25 million and kind of squabbling over it? We don't know if they're squabbling, but there's definitely a little bit more negotiating than I think is necessary going on.
The board at this current moment in time, like, we sound spoiled because we've just spent £100 million on Jack Grealish and broke our transfer record and the Premier League transfer record. We're now complaining that we didn't splash 150 on Kane. It's just annoying at this point because we need a striker, and if our board is sat there fighting over 10 million, 15 million pounds off that transfer fee for Cristiano Ronaldo, then what's the point? I just think it's a massive disappointment. Our board is just, we know it's not the best when it comes to these bigger transfers. Like, we know we always struggle. I mean, just look at Koulibaly a couple of years ago. I know it's Napoli and we don't want to deal with them ever again, but look how long that dragged on for just to go for someone completely different. Big transfers aren't for us unless there's some sort of release clause and it's fairly straightforward. It's just not for us. Our board just seems incapable of making these big decisions for some odd reason. They just always drag on and ultimately fail.
Yeah, I saw the meme floating around this morning when City fans weren't happy with this talk of City negotiating or needing convincing for 25 million that Ferran Soriano is the release clause man. He lives for a release clause. But listen, I think 25 million is absolutely more than reasonable for Cristiano Ronaldo. Juventus paid 100 million, like I said a few minutes ago, and for us to get him for a year or two for 25 million is perfectly fine, I think. And also, let's not forget, you're not just bringing in a man who is going to, yes, score an absolute shed load of goals for us. This guy is a global brand. He has his own personal fan base, which is colossal. I think he's the second most followed person on Instagram, I think now behind Messi, or else he is the first. He's the top 3 most followed people on social media. This guy is a global brand, and he will bring millions and millions of people into City's kind of stratosphere of buying merchandise with Ronaldo on it. He will accumulate alone 25 million worth of jersey sales in a matter of weeks. So I think it's an absolute no-brainer. And there's still 5 days left this transfer window, and City are in their true nature will try and get the best deal they can out of this. But I think ultimately 25 million isn't a disgrace for Juve to ask for, and I would like to think that City, if worst comes to worst, will pay it. But listen, this deal is not over, and we know, from recent history with Harry Kane, that these deals can collapse pretty quickly, even if the player wants it. Even if players do agree contracts, like Ronaldo reportedly has, and Kane reportedly had at one stage, they can fall through. So don't hold your breath, but if you do want to get excited, I am a little bit as well, so go for it. But leave your thoughts down below in the comments. This deal could easily be done by the time this video goes out, or within 10 minutes of this video going out, because it's moving so rapidly. All morning we've been getting reports, and it's moving very, very fast. But do leave your comments down below. If it's not done by then, tell us what you think. Would you have Ronaldo at City? Where do you think he fits in best? Is it a good deal? Is 25 million pounds a good deal for City? I think it is. Let us know what you think, and leave a like on the video. We'd really like if everyone could leave a like on the video. 20 likes on the video would be fantastic. It helps us grow. We're getting close to 400 subs. But yeah, leave your thoughts down below, and we'll see you very soon, hopefully with another update. Good night.